And then when I turned 4, I learned my letters more. But then when I turned 5, I learned the number jive. And it went like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do you remember how to count to 12? I know you do, 'cause Grover told you.
Yeah, I feel like we're in a different place, but we're in the Chattanooga Public Library.
Seems kind of perfect, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Sesame
Thank
Street inspired counting song.
That's right.
I love it.
That's right.
Dylan Kussman, Kathy Webb, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Another Music Wednesday is our favorite day of the week, right?
Yeah, it's a good break for sure. I can tell you guys were having fun.
Yeah, we have fun playing together.
That's true.
How do you two know each other?
Through a mutual friend.
Okay.
Dylan has a band called the Dylan Kussman Band.
Okay.
And the bass player in the band, Terry Klaus, is a friend of mine. So, hey, do you want to sing in this band? Sounds great. And here we are today. So.
Who else is in the band? Terry, Terry goes back with my brother Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Long time.
Decades.
Very
I think Joe
musical
Whitaker
family.
is in the band,
Joe
right?
Whitaker is the drummer. Eric Young is on keys, and Scott Allison is on lead guitar.
Yeah, so another example of the Chattanooga music scene.
Yeah.
And you guys have an event we're going to talk about
Yes.
coming up. And I wanted to say, I know Kathy. She was at a Christmas party singing, and I have to tell this story to embarrass you, but it's the truth. I was in the kitchen. My daughter was in another room, and you started singing, and we both looked at each other and sort of met in the hallway like, who is that singing? So I've been asking you to come on for ever since. So
Well, now I have a really good reason.
now you always have a good reason. You're always welcome, but glad you're
Thank
here.
you.
So
Thanks for having us.
we've got a bunch of music to try to get through. So,
Okay. Yeah, let's get to it.
let's listen to another one, and then we'll talk some more.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm jack of all trades today.
Most women are.
This one's called If It Ain't Love. I'm gonna be with you. Do what you want me to. I feasted for a moment now. Living on the residue. And there's an empty space. I saw your face. I had it here before me now. Disappear without a trace. What are we fighting for? What are we dreaming?
feeling torn apart. There's nothing like the pain when you cannot finish what you start. I feel you reaching out. You ride instead of scream and shout. It's easier for other lovers. Ain't what this affair's about.
What are we fighting for? What are we dreaming of? What are we fighting for? If it ain't love, if it ain't love, if it's worth it, it's worth the pain. Being torn apart, to be together again. If you can dream it can come to life. I can be your man.
I can be your wife.
Shouldn't be that much. I still feel your touch. I'm like a man with a broken leg that's walking around without a crutch. And I'm falling down.
Let me pick you up.
Looking up and spinning round.
Let me feel your
I wanna hear your voice, baby, just to know that you're around.
I'm coming home.
What are we fighting for? What are we dreaming of? What are we fighting for? If it ain't love.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I see why you heard her voice.
Yeah, right. Brought you in from
Me
the
too,
other
me
room.
too.
Very
Right.
nice
Who are
song. That's pretty.
Thank you.
Who
Very
wrote
nice.
that?
Dylan
I
wrote
did.
that.
So good.
I wrote it, yeah.
Beautiful.
My wife and I, our first year and a half of our courtship, we were a planet apart. She was in Bulgaria in the Peace Corps, and I was in Los Angeles.
Okay.
So that was a song about just being very far away.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
It's always
tough.
good when I feel like with a lot of relationships, it's like it's fine when you're together. Like we're good when we're together, but
Right.
yeah. So are you together?
We
still?
are, we
Good.
are, yes.
That's
Yeah,
good.
we've been married for 14 years.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Yeah. So
Tell
that
us-
song probably had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
can't give that to somebody else, I don't guess.
No.
There's only one person.
Tell us about the event coming up.
Okay, on September 1st, we are having a fundraiser concert at the Palace Theater, which is for the locals who've been around a while in the old Yesterdays building. It's in
Right.
Patton Parkway. And we had the date booked already, and then there was a tragedy that happened within the Chattanooga music community in the death of Hunter White. And just through conversations, and our lead guitar player, Scott, had an idea of let's do a benefit. And wow, that's a great idea. And we wanted to support the community with the suicide prevention awareness because September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And we thought this would be a good way to kind of highlight that. And the charity that we've chosen to donate the proceeds to is called the Buddy Project. And their mission is to prevent both suicide and self-harm, and they have a program where they partner people together. I mean, they buddy people together, and they're on a lot of college campuses So that was, we wanted to support an organization that had an established base that we could, highlight, bring attention to, I mean, just, it's a global issue. It's not just that this happened, and to kind of highlight Dylan here, if he looks familiar to you, you may recognize him from the Dead Poets Society. He was one of the actors in the movie. So.
Oh, really?
And so
Wow.
if you think about that movie, he was, it's about the suicide of a teenager, of a student. And then, of course,
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. And then just in the celebrity world, Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade. And I mean, so I think we all have our story. And that was one of the conversations we had when I asked Dylan if he wanted to share about, to highlight his history with movies, because we all have a story. And even though there's that story of the movie, there's the personal relationship that you have had with Robin Williams, and then your own friend. We talked about this. I had a friend when I was young. You have a friend when you were young. We all seem to have a story, and that was why we chose this to do a benefit.
Glad you did, because what's interesting is the Hunter's death affected a lot of people. It was amazing. Social media, you could see the lines of connection, but it started that conversation.
Yes.
How can we help musicians and artists in particular locally? And of course some would, why just them? And because normally they don't have access.
Right.
A lot of musicians
a
wait
lot
tables.
of people.
They work contract work, so they don't have access. A lot of people, true.
And then a lot of people, like Robin Williams, have all the access and nobody knows what's going on with them.
Sure.
So,
right.
for people to talk about it.
That's
It's
why
a big
the
issue.
line we had on the flyer was, let's all get together to remind us all that none of us are alone. Because, like you say, all the access in the world, no access. You get in that dark space and solitary space, and you feel like no one understands. And so this buddy project seemed like it was about connections and come on out. And yes, I felt that way too. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, and people should always talk. It's still one of those things, like, the subjects people don't talk about. Like,
and I also would like to throw a shout out to the Sound Corps, because they, shortly after Hunter's death, they had basically a group grief counseling meeting.
Right.
And one of the things that they did from that point on was set up resources on their website. So the musical community has a page they can go to, and some of them are free or sliding scale. And so there is that resource. And
yeah, Stratton at Soundcore did a great job. I know it was Jonathan Sussman who's been very active, sort of raised the question, what can we do? And I actually myself had written something, and a lady from Austin, Texas read it, reached out, because Austin has a really good music scene where they're trying to help their musicians with insurance, with health care, with housing, with all kinds of things that you would not think of normally
Wow.
as
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
because again, musicians generally work individually or in their band, but not in the big, picture like a corporation
Right.
or whatever. So
And one of the points I made during that meeting is as performers, we feed off the energy of people. And so then when the performance is over, then you're with yourself. And it's how you deal with that. I mean, it's a very
sure, big highs.
polar, yeah,
big-
exactly.
yeah.
It's similar in this, or like being
Sure.
an actor. Yeah.
Which is why so many of us get stuck in loops of addiction,
Yeah.
because managing those highs and lows gets
Right.
to be very, very difficult. So
Yeah.
That's cool. You
You
guys
know.
are doing this. September 1st
September
at
1st.
the Palace, which is in the Tomorrow building, the old Yesterday's building for you.
It's yesterday's to me. It's
I
tomorrow.
know, me too.
It's tomorrow after everybody else.
It's for the film, a lot of movies in there. So, well, let's hear some more music, and we'll
Okay.
talk a little bit more.
Music is healing too.
yes, it's also
Yeah.
about connections, telling stories, right?
Definitely.
Some of your favorite songs you associate with moments in your life that make you feel less alone. Like that songwriter wrote that song for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
I
talked about
listen
that a
all
lot.
day.
How did he know?
All day.
Right, he knows
Yeah.
my life.
Started out simple enough, had the stuff, and our love affair, it was everywhere it could be. But you and I got a little complex. We had a heart of gold hanging round our necks. It was weighing down, pretty thing we found, wild and free. From the mountaintops to the riverbed and the trees, girl, your loving brings every single thing to its knees. Mama told me about girls like you. If you meet one, here's what you should do. Turn your tail and run. Pay attention, son, carefully. From the mountaintops to the riverbeds and the trees, girl, your loving brings every single thing to its knees. Across the desert sands and the waters of 7 seas, girl, your loving brings every single thing. Your loving makes my world shiver and shake. Oceans rumble and the continents quake. I guess I've known it from the very start. My world's a servant to your heart. Well, I was never one to take mama's advice. I had to learn myself about fire and ice. Now we scream and fight. Mama's always right, eventually. From the mountaintop to the riverbed and the trees, girl, your loving brings every single thing to its knees. Across the desert sands and the waters of 7 seas, girl, your loving brings every single thing to its knees. From the mountaintops to the riverbeds and the trees, oh yeah, girl, your loving brings every single thing to its knees. Across the desert sands and the waters of 7 seas, oh yeah, girl, your loving brings every single thing to its knees.
Wow.
Really cool.
That
Dylan,
had a bit of a southern feel. Are you guys both from the South?
I'm from here, so I'm from Chattanooga.
I'm from Los Angeles.
Okay.
that was-
Okay.
My question was, what brings you here? How'd you get?
My wife, the aforementioned wife.
Right.
She is from, my wife grew up in East Ridge. And the way that we met, and the reason why we ended up half a planet apart, I was not planning on telling these stories about me and my wife, but that's fine.
That's what we do. We
She was in
dig.
the Peace Corps with my sister in Bulgaria.
Okay.
So my family went out to visit my sister in Bulgaria, and I met the woman that was going to become my wife, who was my sister's best friend there, Amy Jones from Chattanooga, Tennessee. So I like to say I had to go to Sofia, Bulgaria to meet a girl from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Wow. There you go.
You're like what, the third couple we've had in here who overseas, Drakeford and his wife.
Yeah.
met in some country I can't even pronounce still.
So then we moved out here together in 2008, and we've been here off and on since then, closer to her family, and
yeah, very cool.
and I really like it here.
Well, good. Do you mind, now that we talked a little bit about it, but I can just hear people watching wanting to know, talking a little bit about the acting, did you do much more after Dead Poets? Do you continue?
I did. I've done a lot of parts in series television. I had a part in a movie that no one ever saw called The Way of the Gun. I had small parts in X-Men 2 and Flight. I had a walk-on in The Mummy a couple of years ago. But my career has sort of taken a turn into screenwriting in the last 4 or 5 years, even more than acting. I was a screenwriter on the Mummy that I mentioned. I have a screenplay by credit on that, along with a couple of other writers. And yeah, I've done some of my own acting. I made a web series called The Steps that the first season was based here, and then I based the second season in Los Angeles, and I wrote, directed, and starred in that. You can see that by typing in The Steps web series into YouTube. You can watch both complete seasons in about 2 hours, because the first season is 10 6-minute episodes, and the second season is about 6 8-minute episodes. So
have you always played as well?
Yeah, I've been playing guitar since my freshman year of college, so I was about 18, I guess. I'm 47 now, so.
If you had to choose.
I can't. I just, I love being creative, and I was very fortunate that I had parents who fostered a creative spirit in me and basically said, you can try it, go ahead and try it. And I just haven't let any of it go. I love music, I love writing, I love acting. I directed a film, my first film last year, so I love storytelling, and I'm a history major at Berkeley, so I just love storytelling in all of its forms and facets, and
it's such
I just
an
sort of do it.
interesting thing, and I'm thinking of it because he was just here. Kevin Bacon was just here, but the idea of actors who are also musicians. Kiefer Sutherland was here a little while ago. It seems so strange to some people that an actor would suddenly become a musician. I don't know why. I mean, it's just creative people, right?
Yeah, I've done a little of both too. I mean,
if I could sing,
clearly,
I would.
You know.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Isn't
it kind of? I bet if you interviewed a lot of actors who don't play music, 90% of them, if you said, "What would you do if you couldn't be a movie star?" They'd say, "I'd be a rock star."
Oh yeah.
And
well, I mean, if you ask anybody,
many rock stars, as we know, or musicians, try to act and they can't, and they say, "Man, I wish I could be a movie star. I wish I could be a matinee idol." So there's sort of a lot of
crossover.
A lot of looking across into the other medium, going, I want to do that, or I want to try that. So I just do it without any preconceptions about whether I'm going to be good at any of it or not. I just, you know what I mean?
Just do it.
Fear of failure is really kind of our worst enemy.
I like it.
Yeah,
I
just
like
have to be yourself. How about you? Have you always played? You've always sang since you were a kid, right? No?
No. I've always been involved in music since I was about 6 years old, piano lessons, and then middle school flute, and then I changed to drums, much to everyone's surprise, because why would you carry this and go to carry a whole set, you know? But never really sang. I think I had one of those scarring moments of childhood where someone made fun of me, so I was always really scared too. And then I guess when I was about 40, so.
That's crazy. Yeah, I would have thought forever.
I started singing in church. Well, I'll admit, part of it was karaoke with Liquid Courage before that. But I started going to a church, a small church, and I started singing there some. And someone asked me to be in a band from the church, and I said, so it's only been, I don't know, 8 or 9 years maybe that I've been singing in bands.
She's a newbie.
That's wild.
That's pretty good.
Great? We're so happy.
So
pretty good.
Thanks all. But yeah, I've always loved music. I've always been involved in it. I think I took a break after high school because of, marching band burnout. But and I should have played. It's like, I should have kept playing. But I just started playing guitar about 3.5 years ago. So
wow, yeah, there's hope out there, because I would have thought you would have been like that kid.
I know. If I could have been that good when I was 3 years, when I was 21.
Yeah, exactly.
So
well, that's
she's
cool.
a music lover her whole life, so the playing just when you've loved it. It's in your bones. It's all there. It's just a matter when you suddenly starts pouring out of your fingers. I didn't know anything about music when I started playing guitar.
Well, let's hear another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting people.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So in the show, we don't do many covers. We do a couple.
Yeah, and point out, I mean, we mentioned the band, but you guys are doing obviously just sort of mostly acoustic, though you're plugged in today, but there is a full band.
Oh, absolutely. We're 6 pieces.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big sound.
Cool.
Really good sound.
Yeah, I've never been in a 6-piece band. I've been playing in bands for 25 years.
It'll be
There's a
fun.
keyboard player,
It'll be fun.
2 singers.
In the dark, I tried to read his mind, but I'm frightened of the things I might find. Oh, there must be something he's thinking of to tear him away. When I tell him that I'm falling in love, why does he say, hush, hush, keep it down now, voices carry. Hush, hush, keep it down now, voices carry. Oh, try so hard not to get upset, 'cause I know all the trouble I'll get. Oh, he tells me still so something to hide and something to feel. And I tried so hard to keep it inside so no one can hear. Hush, hush, keep it down now, voices carry. Hush, hush, keep it down now, voices carry. Hush, hush, keep it down now, voices carry. Oh, oh. He won't spare, but only part of the time. He won't spare if he can keep me in line. Hush, hush, keep it down now, voices carry. Hush, hush, keep it down now, voices carry. Ooh, oh, oh, hush, hush, keep it down now, voices carry. Ooh, oh, oh, hush, hush, keep it down now, voices carry. Ooh, oh, oh, hush, hush, keep my love here. Hush, hush, keep your voices down, voices carry. He said, oh, God, won't you keep it down? Voices carry. Hush, hush, keep your voices down, voices
Nice.
Song.
Very nice.
So good.
Very nice. It's the Dylan Kussman Band. September 1st at the Palace. But where else can people find your music?
Well, they can find me on Spotify and iTunes, on YouTube. If you type my name into YouTube, we don't have any band recordings as of yet. We actually recorded a couple of songs right here in the studio.
Oh, awesome.
A couple months ago that we're currently in post-production on and mixing. So we should have something that the band recorded out maybe sometime later this year, early next is a dream. But I recently released 2 solo singles. One is called Sailor. So if you type in Dylan Kussman Sailor into either any of those, Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube, you'll get the video and or the single. And I just last week released a single called Beulah, Beulah. So that one came out last year.
You're going to do that one for us, right? That's going to be the last one? I
didn't know
so.
if we had time. But
Yeah, we have time. You can take us on out. But
It's been a treat.
I wanted to thank you both for doing this. And I also wanted to take this chance to thank Angela Jarvis, who's running the sound for us today. This is her last week with us.
Oh,
She's
thank
going
you
away
for
to-
everything.
Going away to school. She's part of the Dynamo Studios program that I'm sure you worked with when you were in here recording the Kessler Kussman with Dynamo. They work with students. They come in and get experience. And
That's great.
you guys come in, you get a song out of it recorded. They get experience. Everybody at the library gets exposure. So it's been
It's all
a great thing.
good.
It was really
Yeah,
a great
thank you.
experience being here.
Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for having
What a
us
great
on and
Yeah.
for giving us, helping us
conversation
get the
and-
word out about our event. And
Yeah, I
Doors
hope we
open
can
at
make
7. Oh, and we have Dana Rogers playing in the lobby
mm-hmm.
when the doors open, and then Rick Rushing is opening the show.
I love
and
Rick.
Yeah,
we're
Rick Rushing and the
headlining,
Blues
so
Strangers are
then
our
we'll have
headline.
a big jam at the end. So
it. Awesome.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Kathy, you put it off for 2 years to come in, but you came in strong.
Yeah,
I
that
appreciate
voice.
thank you, thanks.
Yeah, that
You waited for a
voice.
good. You were
I needed a cause.
Yeah.
You found it, and
Thank you.
that event on the 1st is important. I'm glad you're doing that. It's good for local music.
And it's $10, which we know is a little high, but all the proceeds are going
It's important
to
And
the Buddy
I'm-
Project.
I'm so glad for.
And a lot of talent for that too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
I mean, out of a tragedy like that,
Sure.
maybe something really good can come. So,
That's
thank
the
y'all for
goal.
doing it. Thanks for
Yeah.
being here, and we're gonna hear Beulah, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
I may tell you a story of a lady proud and true. She's clapboard round her shoulders and a garden in a shoe. And she lost her one true love some 50 years ago. Oh. Still she sits there waiting, but she doesn't know what for. And all the nights of wonder, all the days of doubt, well, she keeps them in a basement, and she rarely takes them out. Beulah feels her years, but love will make her new. Beulah is a house in New Orleans. Well, it isn't hard to find her. She's still right where she's been, on a street that's dark in winter. And it's winter once again, and her eyes are painted windows, and she mostly keeps them closed. Springtime's fast approaching. There's just one thing she knows: if her love will stand beside her, take her by the hand, then the warmth will melt her frozen heart. She'll throw her shoulders back and stand. the fears of years, but love will make her new. Beulah is a house in New Orleans. While Beulah still is waiting, there's a knocking at the door. Hello. Beulah is a house. Beulah is a house. Beulah is a home in New Orleans.
Sweet. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for
Great.
having
very
us.
much.
Thank you.
Wednesday, and
Hope to
everybody
see you.
come. Yeah. Barry's happy you're here after 2 years from the
Yeah,
kitchen. It's-
finally.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway, September 1st, the Palace, and we hope to see you guys there.
Thank you.